I'm Mindy. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm doing my final wrap-up for Realmathon. This is for the second half of March, March 15th through March 31st, and I managed to read 9 books in the second half of March, which is a record for me, at least for this year, for a total of 14 books during the month. And Realmathon is a competitive readathon where you join a team. I was Team Shadows, and each team gets extra points for certain things. My team got extra points for black covers, buildings on the cover, and school settings. And you can use your books to gain points for your team or to attack another team. I am not like an attacking kind of personality, so I did all defending points for my team for a total of 540 points during the month. And during the second half of March, we had the Week of Weird going on for 1 week of it, hosted by Fiber Artsy and Jason's Weird Reads. And then at the end of Week of Weird was Peace Talks Weekend, where you got 10 extra points for your team in Realmathon for every book you started and finished during the weekend. So I have some short books, and that's kind of how I got 9. Very exciting. So let's get into the books. I got a lot of them here. Week of Weird. Let's start there. I started with an arc. I did a poll of which book I should start with, and the winner was The Skin Was Once Mine by Eric LaRocca, and this was a collection of super dark short stories, and they were weird. They had a lot to do with grief or loss, losing something that you once had type of thing. And I love them so much. I gave the collection 4.5 stars. And it is one of my favorite things I've read from him. So that's exciting. I also read Edenville by Sam Rablaine for Week of Weird. Black House. Yay! This is very, very weird. And it follows a couple that moves to a new town that they've heard weird things about. And it is weird. It's a weird place. Weird things going on. But the man is a writer, and he gets invited to come and teach at the university for a semester as in a creative writing class to help the kids. And man, it goes bonkers, off the wall weirdness, and I loved it. Then these are ones, I had 2 books for Week of Weird that I finished during the weekend of Peace Talks. First one was Man F This House. I don't swear on my channel. By Brian Asman. And this, I didn't have this on my TBR for Week of Weird, but it's weird. This is a haunted house book that goes very, very weird and unexpected at the end, so I added it as a Week of Weird book as well, plus being short and easy to get through in a weekend. I think 3.5 stars for this one. A little bit odd at the end. Oh, but it was good. And then Pug Chicken Penny, the panegyric of an anomalous child this was a good story. It was kind of strange. And it's really just the story of this boy who is just the sweetest. He's such a good, friendly, awesome person who happens to be born with abnormalities. And so people don't really understand him, don't really like him, but he does make some true friends and found family because of how awesome he is. And you know, I liked Hug. He's great. I just have some little issues with the representation in this book. There was there was one racist thing, has to do with what the orphanage named some of the kids, and a couple of the kids, and just the representation of his birth defects, his abnormalities. I don't know. So might have been a bit ableist. I can't really speak to the representation. Well, so it might have been a bit ableist. When I look at the reviews for it, they're all very high. So I don't know that everybody thought the same as me, but I thought a couple of the names were super racist. And then it might be a bit ableist. But love Hug. He is the sweetest little cupcake. He is the sweetest little guy. And you really root for him. And yeah, it was very emotional. And it was good other than those things that I was a little iffy on. But I really did, I cried like a baby. That's a sign of a good book. So I gave it 3.5 stars because of my issues with it. And it was going to be down to a 3 on Goodreads until the end when I cried like a baby. And I said, oh, actually, this probably needs to be a 4, rounded up. Yeah. And the last book that I read for Peace Talks Weekend was not for Week of Weird. It was Legacy Witches by Cass K. And this is my beautiful Twisted Retreat special edition. I love that pink. So pretty. Legacy Witches takes place in Salem, Massachusetts, and there are legacy houses of witches that are there. Our main character escaped her destiny, her destiny to take over the house, and ran away. But when her mother dies, she gets sucked back in. And that is the basic story of it. And she comes back to sell the house, but the house is like a sentient house. It's not your normal house, so she has to sell it to the right people. And probably one of the houses, you know, it's got to go to witches that know how to handle a very magical house. Yeah, it's really interesting. I had a lot of fun with it. It's got a great friendship. It's got like magic, a lot of magic and things you can do with magic. And it felt really light and kind of lighthearted. But there were some pretty dark things that went on as well. Yeah. It was a good time. I liked it. I can't remember if I gave it 3.5 or 4 stars. No, it was pretty good. Then I had a couple of audiobooks that I listened to during the second half of March. The first one was Starling House by Alex E. Harrow, which is another sentient house book, which is great. I didn't like this one as much as Legacy Witches, but it was also pretty good. This one had a bit of a romance element, and it was about a girl who needs money to send her brother to really good school so he can have a bright future, because her parents died and she's been taking care of him. And so she gets a job at Starling House, and the owner of the house is really strange, kind of a shut-in. I guess he doesn't get out much. He doesn't socialize. And he's like in charge of keeping this house that is always doing some crazy things. So it was pretty good. And then another pretty good book was All the Missing Girls by Megan Miranda. A thriller. It wasn't the best thriller, but it was okay. I think it's one of her older books, backlist. I mean, it wasn't anything super amazing. I was a little bored in the beginning. Things got interesting at the end, but it was not mind-blowing. And it was a lot different than I was expecting from All the Missing Girls, just from the name. I didn't really know what to expect going in. There were some missing girls in it, though. Okay. And the last two books that I finished in the second half of March. First one, I started in the first half, and then it just took me a while to finish it. And then the other one, I read in the last week of March. I read it all. It's the longest one. There are 2 books in the Lightbringer series. I had the audio to go along with these, so they went fast. Oh, this third book is huge. Okay, so this is book 2 and 3 in the Lightbringer series by Brent Weeks. I'm really, really into this series now. Each book, I get more and more vested. It is a school setting book. This one was. Oh yeah, they both were. This one was like all in the school, learning how to use light magic. He's the main character is learning how to be a blackguard, which is like a military person. So using his powers and, fighting skills. The light system is all around colors. So harnessing color to create magic in a lot of different ways. Yeah, this one was all in the school. This one was only partially in the school, but because they're kind of growing up a little bit now. Things are getting more complicated than that, just learning. A lot going on in this big chunky book. This one was over 800 pages in this edition. Some of that is like character lists and extras and stuff. But I read this one also for the March of the Mammoths, which was created by Old Blues, chapter and verse. It's a big one, but audio helped me get through it all in a month. That's crazy. Starling House was the group read pick for the Horror Spotlight book club, and All the Missing Girls was the book club pick for the Thrill, Chill or Kill book club on the Bookish Drummers Discord. It was a chill for me. It wasn't very thrilling, but it wasn't bad either. And then these guys is for a group read. We're reading the series together on Bookish Drummers Discord as well, and I love them. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, like, I've only had one little issue with this series. It doesn't bother me too much, but it did make the first two books like a 4.5 instead of a 5 because they're really good. But the main character is fat, which that's great. But it's not used as like a positive. It's like his one negative thing. He's ashamed of it. Everybody like shames him, and that I don't like. But ooh, other than that, it's a great series. And that is everything that I read in the last 2 weeks of March. It was so much fun participating in Realmathon. I read so much more than I usually do, and that was great. Have you read any of these books? What did you think of them? Did you participate in any of the group reads or events that I talked about? Let me know what you thought of it, and I will be back very soon with another book-related video. Thanks. Bye.